We're live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, for everybody being here. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch little old me talk about the disaster of a Laker game. Anybody that's watching and coming in and trickling in at this time, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Everybody, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You guys know the drill. Another day, another game, another Lakers loss. This one was rough. This was rough. Wasn't what I had hoped. I figured we'd take an L. I was just hoping it'd be a little more competitive than this. I'd hope that guys would step up a little more than they did. But obviously that didn't happen. It is what it is. We're 2-8 on the season. We've played 10 games, and it's not turning around anytime soon. Not anytime soon. What's going on? Why did that freeze? There we go. They couldn't stop any threes. Yeah, I mean, Utah's one of the better three-point shooting teams in the league. They make like 16 threes a game, something crazy like that. So they're a tough team to be. I mean, that's why they're in the position that they are in, because of how many threes and stuff they can knock down, stuff like that. But it was rough. I was hoping other guys would have stepped up a little more. Kendrick Nunn is one of the guys. I mean, he did pretty good. He kind of came out of his shell a little bit. So hopefully that's a good sign, right? He had 18 points, shot 50% from three, 63% overall, 7 of 11. So maybe that'll be a bright side. Maybe that'll be a guy that can kind of pick up, step up. Gave us 18. If he can kind of get back to being a 18 point a game guy, or 15 or even 12, I'll take 12. Give us 12 a game. If he can kind of get back to being a scoring punch off the bench, that would be a positive. But outside of Kendrick Nunn, I mean, Reeves stepped up a bit. He had 11, but most of it was at the free throw line. He was 0-3 from 3 tonight, which sucks because he's one of our better 3-point shooters. Davis had a strong night, 29 points, 11 of 18. Not a ton of rebounds. He only had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Russ had a solid game, 8 of 14 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Russ has been our best 3-point shooter the last, handful of games, which is crazy. Only 2 turnovers, which is good. He cut down on the turnovers. 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 22 points. So, he had a good one. It just, we're not able to put it all together to get wins, and it sucks. We got to make a trade. We got to do something. I mean, we're 10 games into the season. Good thing is the Lakers are engaging with the Spurs now, so hopefully they can work something out there. We play the Clippers on Wednesday. I don't see a trade necessarily in the next couple days. So very likely we're probably going to play at least, my guess, probably another 5+ games before we end up pulling off a trade. Because they're just starting to do negotiations. It's going to take time. You gotta start low, work your way up, try to find a medium, find a happy compromise, and work it out from there. But yeah, this is not good. Not good at all. 80 is still on vacation. Offseason. 80 had a solid game tonight. Rebounding, he did it. Rebounding was rough, but I mean, he gave us 29 points and shot a good percentage. So he was solid. I like that Kendrick Nunn stepped up a bit. I like that, Reeves had an okay game. He wasn't shooting well, but we need a lot of things. We really do. We need help, period. LeBron definitely needs some help. It's just LeBron didn't play this game, but still, it's just it's rough. What's going on from Chile? Thank you. We are a joke, definitely. Yeah, we're not very good right now. We're not very good at all right now. It's clear, clearly not LeBron. It's bad. The role players just suck. I don't think LeBron's bad. I've said some critical stuff of LeBron recently, but it's not. I don't think he's bad. Look, there's nothing wrong with criticizing LeBron for certain things, criticizing Russ, talked about Russ turnovers last game, stuff like that. Like, you can't have 7 turnovers, um, like nobody's beyond criticism. It's just LeBron's decision making this year has been kind of rough. And I don't know if part of it is just his ankle, part of it is his, he's sick. I don't know, part of it, father time maybe. But it's not just LeBron. Like, I talked about this in a video earlier today. Like, it seems like a lot of people go one extreme or the other, right? It's Russ and Russ's fault. Russ is terrible and blah, blah, blah. And then that narrative changed, right? Now, like, Russ getting MVP chance, people are loving Russ, all that stuff. And then, now it's like LeBron sucks and da, 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 da. Like, I don't think it's anything. Like, basketball is a team sport. It takes the team to win games and lose games. One guy can't win on his own, as much as we'd like it to. So I think it's a combination of just everything. It's a combination of just, we don't have the talent to keep up in games. Like, and I've talked about this heavily. We don't have the starting level players. We have a lot of like really good, solid role players, but they're all guys that are playing above what they should be, right? So you have like Walker is not supposed to be your third best player, right? Walker's supposed to be like your fifth or sixth best player, and guys like Austin Reeves, he's supposed to be your seventh or eighth best player, not your fourth or fifth best player, and that's the problem. Like, as you go down the list, all of these guys are having to step up and play roles that they shouldn't have to play. Like Walker and Troy Brown, they've been solid for us. They've been great for us, but they're 23 years old and they're not ready to be that third, fourth option. Could they one day? Sure, possibly. They could be solid 3-and-D guys in this league at some point, but they're not ready for that position yet. But if we had them as like our fourth, fifth, sixth best player, then we're in a position. The problem is we lack that starting level talent, which is the problem, and what we need. But Kendrick Nunn was a star in was a stare. I think you mean star in NBA Finals, and Beverley will transform Lakers defense. Look, we have a solid defense. Beverley and Kendrick Nunn have both been extreme disappointments. Kendrick Nunn had a solid game today. He shot well from the floor, gave us 18. Maybe that'll get him to kind of wake up a little bit. That would be nice if that could get him kind of back into the flow of things. But he's overall been a disappointment. Rebuild. We can't rebuild this year, even if we wanted to. That's the problem. We can't trade LeBron this year. We're not going to get fair value for Davis this year, so it's rough. Lakers need to find a center that can take some pressure off of AD. I agree. They really do. The problem is like we can't, like, outside of Russell Westbrook, we can't make any other trades till December. And so unless we find the right Russell Westbrook deal, it's going to be tough. Because you got to keep in mind, like, Russ has been arguably our best player the last like handful of games. He's been our most consistent player, at least. With Anthony Davis having 2-point second halves and stuff like that. Up until today, because obviously he put some points up today, but the last 3 games, Anthony Davis had 0 points in the fourth quarter. The previous 3 games, on 3 attempts per game or something like that. Like, that's not gonna get it done. That's not how we're gonna win games, is having what is supposed to be our number one guy, our star, or our mismatch, putting up goose eggs in the fourth quarter and 2 points in the second half. So the problem is if you find, it has to be the right trade for Russell Westbrook. Can't just trade him just to trade him, because the problem is that it can get worse, right? We're at least competitive in games. A couple things go, well, not this game, but for the most part, we've been competitive in games. We're a thing or two away from like winning those games. And a lot of that is Russ. Like, defensively, he's top 14 in defense this year. He's number 2 amongst point guards. So that, like, we need to be able to have that production. If we go, let's say we trade Russ for 2 guys that give us what Russ gives us, then we're just staying neutral. We need impact. We need to get several guys. So unless we can trade Russ for 3 or 4 players, it's rough. I do like the Spurs deal, especially if we can get Jakob Poeltl, right? Because if you can get that, you'd get McDermott, Richardson, and Yaka. That gives you 3 players immediately that can make an impact. AD can go to the 4. You can literally start all 3 of those guys with LeBron and Anthony Davis, right? And now that's your starting 5. Now you have starting level players, which now allows Walker and Reeves and Brown and all those guys that are contributing and actually being solid for us. Now they can all go and play the role that they are supposed to play, which is that 6th, 7th, 8th man role rather than 1, 2, 3 role. And so I think that would help, and we get that trade exception for like, I think if we get Jakob Poeltl, it's like 14 million, something like that, 13, 14 million. Then we can use that trade exception to go get another guy. And now you got, 4 guys and a deal for Russell Westbrook. That's what we need. We need several guys. Like 1 or 2 guys is not going to turn the Lakers season around. That's why I'm not big on the Pacers deal. As great as Miles Turner and Buddy Hield have been this season so far, you gotta understand they're like the number 1 and 2 option on the Pacers. They're going to be the number 4 and 5 option on the Lakers. So they're not going to have the same production. And not just that, but there's a lot of risk and concerns with those two that if it doesn't work out, you're stuck. And that's my concern with that. But if you could do a Spurs deal, now you get 3, 4 guys, and you could still take, like, especially if you could do it for like 1 first, then you could take Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn, package those 2 with another first round pick and go get another impact guy. And now you basically got a whole roster turnaround. That's what I'm hoping the Lakers end up doing, at least. Turner had 38 for Indy. Yeah, he's been a little inconsistent, but he's had like the games he's been good. He's been really good. Lakers defense, yeah, it's just Utah's hot. Utah's averaging 16 made threes a game. It's not just the Lakers. They're doing that against everybody. That's why they have the record that they have. They're like 9-3 now. They're that for a reason. 2-8. Yeah, it's rough. Look at Boogie Cousins, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. They took some pressure off AD. I agree. We could really use a center. I don't know why they don't take a look at like Hassan Whiteside. He solves your rebounding and he solves your shot blocking issue. I don't think it hurts. Worst thing that happens, you bring him in and it doesn't work, and then you just waive him. Not a big deal. Definitely not hot or trash than last season. They're a better team than last season. Like they're not good. I'm not saying that they're a good team, but they're much better than last season. Lakers need Kyrie and a Hornets deal. Yeah, or Kyrie and any deal. Like we need something. We need several things. Sorry. Hey, Stan, another loss. Yes, I know. It's rough. It's rough. That's what this is. This is a therapy session. We're all here together. We all got to deal with this together. What's going on, Austin? I appreciate you being here. Russ needs to go because of the salary of other role players. We need AD because he's basically the best big man we have, shooting wings, and maybe another bit more big. Yeah, I mean that's the only thing. Like, look, I love Russ. I love how Russ has turned it around. I love how Russ is playing right now for us. But he's the only asset we have that's big enough to go get like a roster rehaul. Like his salary is big enough by himself to go get us 3 or 4 players. And like that's rare for any team, let alone the Lakers, which the Lakers really needed. I already got that one. Again, free my boy Russ, man. I feel it. He had a good game today. How come his plus minus is minus 22? There's a lot of things that go into plus minus outside of scoring and stuff like that. It's impact on the floor. It's the defense, the offense of the total team. Like what is the team as a whole doing while you're on the court? It's not just an individual stat. There's so many things that go into plus minus. At least the Clippers game is winnable. They haven't been playing good basketball quite still. I agree. That could be a very winnable game. That could be a game that really helps us. I still wouldn't like get my hopes up that that's going to turn around and be a W, but hopefully And on 1 second. Sorry, I'm multitasking. One of my kids are sick, so we're not going to do too long of a live stream today. Just got an update. So, yeah. Ham holding them accountable. He's trying to at least. I already answered that. Already answered that. Fun fact: Lakers were 5-5 last year in the first 10 games. Yes. And then they just went off a cliff. Yes, but you also got to keep in mind, last year we had like the easiest schedule in the league. This year we have like the second hardest, I believe. I mean, we haven't played a team under, not counting the Warriors the first game because it was their first game, but not counting the Warriors the first game, we haven't played a team under 500. So we've been playing nothing but current playoff teams. Why is Laurie Markkinen? I don't know who is Laurie Markkinen. So the Rob link up said Buddy Hield and Turner do not move the needle for us, but those two players would have at least given us 6 wins by now. I don't know about 6 wins, but we definitely would have more wins. If we had Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, we definitely would have had more wins. The problem is how much better does it make us? Because let's say we were 5-5 right now with those two. That still doesn't solve our problem. Someone, if you have a time machine, go back to the Bev trade and tell the Bev THT trade was great. Because it wasn't just about Patrick Beverley. Look, Patrick Beverley's been terrible, but look, Patrick Beverley is an expiring contract, so he's going to be movable, which is good. That's what you need. And he's more than what THT was this year. So you can actually get a better player than what you could get for THT. Also, you got to keep in mind that deal freed up $12 million in cap space for next season. And you got to keep in mind that deal opened up a roster spot, which turned out to be Matt Ryan. So that deal was worth the deal. That was a great deal for the Lakers. And we'll see what they turn, if they turn Patrick Beverley into something. We'll see what Patrick Beverley turns into. But there was a lot more to that deal than just Patrick Beverley for THT. Yeah, they need to go get a center. Lakers the first 10 games last year 5-5, and the first 10 games this year 2-8. Yeah, but like I said, completely different. We played nothing but like tanking teams in the first 10 games of the season and went 5-5. We should have went 10-0 in that stretch, or 9-1 in that stretch. This season we've played nothing but playoff teams. Why is Laurie Markkinen actually good? This dude is kind of sucky on the Bulls. Yeah, well, I mean, he was young, he was a rookie on the Bulls, stuff like that. Then he went to the Cavs and he picked it up a little bit more, and he's improved every year, which is what happens, right? The plus minus was flawed for us. Don't believe that. Blame him. Yeah. Look, like I said, plus minus, there's a lot of things that go into plus minus, right? Anthony Davis was a -9. Kendrick Nunn had 18 points. He was a -11. Like I said, there's a lot. It's not just an individual stat. Like a lot of people look at it and they think it's not an individual stat. It's not based on just how Russell Westbrook did. Independently. The Lakers need to fire Pelinka because he's doing anything for the Lakers. There's nothing to do right now. That's the problem. We literally cannot. The only trades we can make is with Russell Westbrook. They both want both first-round picks. It has to be the right deal. Like, he's doing the right thing. I know it sucks, and I know it's hard, and I know it's frustrating, but you can't, it could get worse. The grass isn't always greener. And you don't want to do a deal. It's better to have one bad season than, several. What if we go do, let's say we go do the Miles Turner and Buddy Hield deal, and what if it doesn't work? And we're still terrible. And the problem is we're stuck. That's our team for the next, 4 years. At least after this year, we have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and, nothing else. Or we could get to where we have nothing else. And we could rehaul the entire roster, and we'd still have our assets, and we'd still have our picks and everything. You got to keep in mind, there's a lot that goes into trades, and you have to get the other side to trade. Just because it's not as simple as hey, we're going to give you Russell Westbrook and, a first-round pick, and you're going to give us these 5 players. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Everything takes time. Jazz expectations, Victor Wembanyama, Jazz 1 seed in the West. Yeah. But here's the problem. All he did was make a trade that just became a parallel move instead of upgrading the roster. Like, they're going to regret this for the next like 2 or 3 years because they're not going to be a contender. They're going to be a middle of the pack team. They're going to get like picks in like the 18 to 25 range. And they're just going to be an okay team for the next like 3-4 years. Like, when the goal was to be a contender in the next 3-4 years, unless they could package it, make a deal. Like, let's say some star, wants out in the next like 2-3 years that like could maybe make them a contender, but like, who is that going to be is the problem. Like, right. Because they do have a ton of draft picks, so like, I don't know. Not saying that this would happen, but let's just say for an example, like, let's say Luka is like, I want out of Dallas, right? I want to be traded out of Dallas. Well, like, Utah has enough assets to go make a trade like that, right? They got enough young talent and draft picks to go get a deal like that and still be competitive and still be really good. And maybe now they're a contender. Like, that's the only thing that they could really hope for because they were trying to tank and it just didn't work out. That's the issue. So, LeBron ain't bad. He's just getting older yet. Lakers just signed Pelinka to an extension. They did. They signed it before the season began, though. It just was reported like way later. I think we are starting to see LeBron regress, but even 3/4 of LeBron is still free. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you may be right. It could be that case, but we know LeBron has been dealing with sickness. We know LeBron has been dealing with an ankle injury, but it's not like his. It's not so much his like play; it's his decision making. His decision making is just poor right now. Pelinka's fault. Just a poor team put together. Problem is that there wasn't anything this offseason. This offseason was terrible, right? Like, who was Pelinka supposed to get this offseason? Like, there wasn't anybody. We literally got everybody we could have possibly gotten. The only players that you could say were better that maybe we could have gotten was Otto Porter Jr., who he was never coming to the Lakers because he went to Toronto for his wife. Like, he literally said that. Like, the only team I was going to go to was Toronto because of my wife. And then maybe Bruce Brown, but like, he would have cost too much. So we couldn't have got him anyway. He cost more than we could have paid him. Like, Gary Payton II, like, hasn't played. He played one game this season, and he's not much better than, he doesn't solve our shooting issues. There literally was nothing this offseason. Nothing. We could have done maybe the Buddy Hield and Miles Turner deal. Like, the only hope was Kyrie coming. That's the only thing that would have like saved this season. But Kyrie didn't come. So after that, that was it. There literally was nobody out there we could have got. One guy can't win it on his own. Talk to Kobe, 81 points. I mean, that's a little different. I'm talking about winning like several games. And he wasn't the only one to score. Pelinka doesn't need to be fired yet. And LeBron's the one who wanted this roster. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, LeBron asked for Russell Westbrook, told him to go out and get it, stuff like that. AD needs pressure out of him, who are some good starting centers. Yeah, I mean, we got to go get a Miles Turner or Jakob Poeltl or something like that. We need somebody. We really do. Vogel wasn't the problem. Our roster was just horribly constructed. Vogel was part of the problem. Vogel was pretty bad this year. Like, at least Darvin Ham has these guys. They're still playing like a top 5 defense. He's completely fixed and changed the Russell Westbrook situation. Like, he's done pretty good. He was part of the problem. He wasn't the main problem, but he was part of the problem. Everybody knew Vogel wasn't the problem. It was just easy to blame the coach. He was part of the problem. Like, his lineups, his adjustments, his changes. Like, tell me one game that he ever outcoached somebody. He didn't. He never outcoached you. It's not a coincidence that as soon as Jason Kidd left, like, everything went downhill. Because Jason Kidd was the guy that they respected. Jason Kidd was the voice of the locker room. Jason Kidd was the offensive side, right? That's why when Jason Kidd left, our offense became terrible. And Frank Vogel was supposed to be the defensive side, and we were terrible defensively. And so, I mean, it was a lot of things. I mean, how many times did we see Frank Vogel play Rondo, THT, LeBron, and Westbrook on the court at the same time? Or THT, LeBron, and Westbrook, or Rondo, LeBron, and Westbrook? Like, that should never even be a lineup. I have never liked the Lakers, but I feel sorry for them. Yeah, it's rough right now. you know who to blame, Clutch Sports. They're not the ones to blame. They put together, but yeah. 4 players from the Lakers are Clutch Sport clients. I'm sorry, 5. Yeah, but that's just help. That's just having connections. I mean, you can make the argument we wouldn't have won a championship if it wasn't for Clutch. Clutch is the reason we got KCP on the cheap end after giving him a deal like that back end deal, and then going and getting, Anthony Davis, stuff like that. Like, I like you, bro, but LeBron James out tonight could be good for the Lakers. Didn't age well. We got straight. You got to actually listen and watch the videos. You got to actually listen. You can't just not listen to the videos and then just assume you know what you're talking about. Because if you listen to the video, this is nowhere close to what I said. Nothing. If you go back and listen to the video, you'll hear what I said. And part of it was right. Kendrick Nunn finally came out of his shell, finally stepped up and played great. So hopefully that translates. Go watch the video. LeBron should have just left when his contract was up. He deserves better, man. Where's he going to go? I mean, seriously, like even if we can't trade him this year, but let's say we could trade him right now. Where is he going to go? Who's going to trade for a 38-year-old LeBron James right now? Nobody. Because he's not going to go to like a Sacramento. He's going to want to go to a contender. And what contender is going to trade like real assets to go get LeBron James for a year or two, right? Like that's the problem. Like LeBron, that was like the whole thing. Like you can go back and watch the videos that I made when the whole contract discussion, everything. Like if people were like, "Oh, what if LeBron?" I was like, LeBron is not going to leave. He has nowhere to go. I was like, LeBron's going to sign that extension sooner or later because he literally has nowhere else to go. And he didn't go to LA for basketball reasons. He went to LA to become a billionaire, which he did. Like he didn't go to He could have went to several teams and probably won 2 or 3 championships by now. But he wanted to go to the Lakers because he wanted post basketball. He did. Yes, very true. First of all, I would like to fire Rob Pelinka at Coach Ham. They're fine. Buddy and Miles are like the 3rd and 4th on the Pacers, I'd say. They got Tyrese and Matthew's been playing. Yeah, but however you say it, Mathurin, he's been their 6th man coming off the bench. And Miles Turner and Buddy Hield are getting like 20 touches a game. So they're getting shots like they're the 2nd, 3rd options. Lakers missed a chance on Turner, and I don't like Kyrie coming to the Lakers. The thing is, Turner's not going anywhere, and he's not worth both first. You got to keep in mind, like as great as Turner looks right now, he's played less games than Anthony Davis the last few years. Like he's as injury prone as anybody. He got hurt in shoot around and missed a week. Like the guy, like that's the problem. Like let's say we go and trade for him, and he hurts himself like he has the last 3 years, and he misses half the season. Like that's happened 3 times already. He had a season-ending injury last season. Like it's just so much risk. And the problem is, if it doesn't work out, we're stuck. We have no way out. At least right now, we have ways out. Like I said, it's better to have 1 bad year than 3 or 4 bad years. Because if we make a trade and we're stuck, that's our team for the next 3 or 4 years. So stats say otherwise. Can we get Clarkson, Conley, and Beasley for Russ 2 first-round picks? I doubt the Jazz would do it now. Supposedly, the Jazz want to talk to the Lakers about a trade again. But you're not trading Clarkson, Beasley, and Conley for 2 firsts. You're not. I mean, as great as they have looked, it's not worth it. I saw a stat, not including this game, but the previous 3 games, Braun was 1-16 from 3. Yeah, so he made a 3 last night, and up until that made 3, LeBron was 0-15 from 3 until he made that shot. Westbrook needs help. Trade LeBron for AD. Honestly, this is a free Russ scenario, not free Bron. My bro, you thought Lakers were winning without LeBron, even though LeBron is at his worst at the moment. All that. I didn't say that they would win. I said that guys would step up, which they did. You had Kendrick Nunn finally step up, finally come out of his shell. Troy Brown is still being consistent, being solid. He's looked good. Austin Reeves came in with 11 points. Russ still looked like Russ. Max Christie played great today too. That's another. He had a good sign. Like what I said in the video happened for the most. Not everybody, but we got several guys. Now, if they can continue that when LeBron gets back, that might help. And Walker and stuff like that, maybe we can finally put it all together. If they trade for Jakob Poeltl, he's just going to be a rental. He's going to take a very high money. So if we're going to trade him, they better have plans to extend him big money. Not necessarily. I mean, I think he'll make more than what he's making right now, which is like $9 million a year or whatever. But he's not going to be like a $30 million a year guy. He's not going to make that kind of money. Not just that, but if you trade for him, you're going to be able to go over the cap because you have his bird rights. But also, worst case scenario, if you let him go, it's not the end of the world. He would just be an add-on to the deal. Like the Lakers could do the deal already without Jakob Poeltl. Like, why not take a free center, even if it's for a year, even if it helps this year? Like, it's better than. I mean, you can either get an extra like $7 million in a trade exception, or you could get a 2010 center. Like, what would you rather have? So even if they do make the trade for him and they just let him go next season, who cares? I mean, depending on what happens next season. This is killing me. Trade Damian Jones, Patrick Beverley, first round pick for Miles Turner, Kendrick Nunn, and his first. The problem is they can't trade these guys till December 14th. You can't aggregate Beverley with other pieces, which is why making a trade right now is really hard. If you had to give up one first round pick and a second, would you consider Kyrie talent, even though he may carry his drum? I would not trade for Kyrie Irving. Like, as much as I want Kyrie to come to the Lakers, and I would love Kyrie to come to the Lakers, and I really think he helps, the problem is that at least Russ right now, right? Like, if you trade, like, let's say you just swapped, let's say they called right this second, and they were like, hey, we'll swap you Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving. Just straight up, no picks, no nothing. I still wouldn't do the deal because you're not going to be, if it doesn't work out, you're not going to be able to play him. As much as I've stuck up for Kyrie, he's still a liability. Like, he's still a lot of problems. And the issue is it can still get worse. At least you know Russ is going to show up every night. You know he's going to get you 18, 7, and 7 every single night. He's going to play every game. He's, whether we win, whether we lose. Like, Kyrie will help a lot, but it's just so much of a risk that if it doesn't work, you're screwed. Like, I'd rather at this point trade Russell Westbrook for like 3 or 4 players than go get Kyrie Irving, because I think that at least those guys, you have depth, you feel more of a need than just Kyrie. Like, we desperately need scoring, but if you get like 4 guys in a trade that all provide that scoring for you, great. And Kyrie, so like Kyrie will give you like 25 a night. So he'll give you like 7 more points than Russell Westbrook, right? So he gives you, let's say, 7 more points, but you're not getting the rebounds, you're not getting the assists, you're not getting the defense. Again, Russell Westbrook is number 14 defensively this year and number 2 amongst all point guards. So you're losing defense, you're losing rebounding, and you're losing assists for 7 extra points and all the baggage and liability that comes with that. I wouldn't trade for Kyrie Irving straight up. Like, if he gets waived, great. Pick him up immediately, because at that point it's low risk. You're getting him on a vet minimum deal, and it costs you nothing. If it doesn't work, just waive him. If it does work, great. Then you re-sign him, and you get the guy you want. And you'd still have Russ, right? So you could still keep Russ to go and continue to, either play him or flip him for other guys and still do a deal. Looking back, the Lakers still should have done the Pat Bev trade. He came off of a great season with Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, like I said, with the Pat Bev deal, you said still should have done the Pat. Yeah, I mean, like I said, beyond just Pat Beverley, the player, there was a lot of benefits that the Lakers got in that. Hope Schroeder and Bryant can come back soon, just to see what they have or if they fit. I actually think they're going to help. I mean, they're not going to help that much, but I do think they're going to help. I mean, especially if we get like Germany's Schroeder, he's really going to help. Why do we need Matt Ryan? He plays football for the Colts. Yeah, we suck. I agree with you. This is awful. I agree with you. This is rough right now. What will happen if Anthony Davis went to the Bulls? It depends on what you get back. Problem is, you're not going to, like, what are you going to get that's going to change the fate of the Lakers that Anthony Davis can't give you? The Lakers could really use my 2K player. That'll automatically win a ship. Yeah. They could use probably anybody's 2K player right now. Turner playing great. Won't be surprised if another team swoops in and gets him. The problem is, and the reason nobody's offered money for Turner or offered any trade for Turner, because you got to understand, like, Turner's a great player. Why hasn't anybody stepped up and been? Because the Pacers, they just don't want to lose him for nothing. They just want anything for Turner. The reason is he's a 1-year rental. He wants $20+ million, which he's not a $20+ million guy. And on top of that, he's extremely injury prone. So if you're any team, you have to take all three of those risks into factor. So any team, unless you think Miles Turner is your center of the future, which most great teams already have their center, right? So, like, unless you're looking at Turner and going, man, like, he's the guy we need to kind of turn the fates, like, it's not going to solve the problem for most teams. That's why nobody's trying to trade him. 20% winning percentage for the year adds up to 16 victories. Yeah, that's not good at all. Still think the Pacers trade is not worth it. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. Hope your kid feels better, man. Speedy recovery. Thank you. I appreciate that. Speaking of, I just got a text. Hang on. Bear with me for a second. Sorry, everyone. Hang tight. All right. Perfect. Okay. And thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you again. The Jazz are overperforming. I think they have a massive losing streak, and they'll still end up top 7 in the lottery. I don't think so. They're really good. They have a bunch of really good shooters. And they have bigs that can shoot and everything. I don't think they're a contender or anything like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're a top 4 team when the season's all said and done. They're a better Utah team than they have been. They basically just slightly upgraded their roster. Basically all they did. Because I mean, think about it. You basically got rid of Rudy Gobert for 2 or 3 big men. That I'm not saying all in that deal, but I'm saying you basically traded in Rudy for 3 big men that all provide better scoring and the same defense that Rudy gave you, and they're not a liability. So you got a huge upgrade over Rudy. And then Donovan Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell gave you a bunch of scoring and stuff like that, but you got Colin Sexton, and you got those 3 bigs, and you got, Beasley, and you got, so they're just a better Utah team is what it is, because they're younger. Like, they're a younger, faster, more efficient Utah team, because they're not just Donovan Mitchell centric and, Rudy, who is a liability on the offense. There's everything that I said about the Minnesota Timberwolves has happened. They're terrible because Rudy's a liability. He's not a good player. He's great defensively, but he's a liability in every other way. What's going on, Nike? I appreciate it. What's going on, Mark? When you are only winning 20% of your games, someone has to take the blame, even though the entire team is responsible. Yeah, that's just the way it works, right? What's probably going to happen is a team that no one is predicting is going to end up with Wembanyama, like the Pacers. Somebody, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if right now, it looks like Orlando is going to be the team that has the worst record, and I'd be surprised if they don't get it. It's just one of those random teams. What if the Warriors end up just continuing to lose? I know they won tonight, squeezed out a win, but they have looked terrible. What if they just randomly ended up with Wembanyama? They end up with a bottom seed, something. How about if the LA Lakers had 50,000 cap space in 2025? 50,000 or 50 million? And you think Rob could make a trade? I do at some point. I think it's coming sooner or later. Smiley. They should have waited to see how the season goes before they threw Pelinka another contract. You want stability in your thing. And like I said, Rob Pelinka, Like, what was he supposed to do this offseason? There's nothing out there. Sorry. We all know the Jazz never winning a championship. I'd be shocked if they make the playoffs this year. I think they'll make the playoffs. I mean, they're pretty good. Like, I don't think this is a fluke. They're pretty good. Dwight Howard is playing in China. Bruce Brown was very smart leaving Brooklyn, and now he's having a great season in Denver. Great pickup for them. It was a solid pickup for them. Him and KCP was a solid pickup for Denver. We had a chance to get DeMar DeRozan and LeBron and AD. Yeah, and then LeBron and AD wanted Russell Westbrook. I'm the Bulls GM. You're Rob Pelinka. I call and offer DeRozan, Vucevic, and 2 first-round picks for AD and Reeves. You accepted it or handing up the phone? I'm not handing up the phone, but I'm not accepting that. I would want more than that for AD because DeRozan would be great, but he's older. He's not going to solve all your problems. Vucevic may or may not stay with the Lakers, so you might end up trading AD for nothing in that deal. Like, I would need more than that. Like, I would need probably at least Caruso and maybe like Patrick Williams. Like, give me a young like guy that I can kind of build with. Caruso comes in, gives us a solid guard defense. DeRozan gives us that other scoring option. Vucevic, he gives us that 20-10 center, but we lose a lot of the problem is we lose a lot of defense, and we probably get the same production that AD gives you. And I wouldn't want to give up Reeves. I'd rather keep Reeves. Like I said, I wouldn't hang up, but it would have to be more than that because I don't think that makes the Lakers better. You can make an argument that makes us worse. Brandon Jennings gets signed to the Lakers next season. Brandon Jennings. I don't think Vogel necessarily needed to get fired, but they probably just wanted to change the scenery, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, he lost the locker room. Is a big part of it. So they, when you lose the locker room, you got to get rid of the coach. Clips beat the Cavs. Did they? I know they were losing. I thought they were getting smacked. Oh, they really did. They came back, huh? Last I saw, they were down like 12 in the fourth quarter. They was going to hire Jason Kidd as the head coach, but he left yet. I'm taking that deal out west. You got to stop blaming LeBron for Pelinka's decision. They didn't have to listen to LeBron. Many fans and media and the new Russell Westbrook was a bad fit for step of the court. Yeah, look, a lot of people knew it. But name me a team that's told LeBron no, for one. 2, you got to understand, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, 2 stars came to you and said, we want this player. Go get us this player. And LeBron's on a contract year. You're trying to get him to sign an extension to stick around with the team. And what do you like? There's not a GM in the league that would have said no. Not a GM. There's not one in the league that would have told LeBron, you're 2 superstars. I mean, look at what happened to the Brooklyn Nets, right? Like, you're not telling them no. Sign Kyrie and Miles Bridges, 2 free All-Stars. Maybe. Miles Bridges is still a restricted free agent. They made him restricted, so they still have dibs. AD ready to come home, and we want him. Oh, I'm sure that they want him. I don't think like that deal would make us better. I feel like this is a throwaway season because of how the team is put together, and all Genie cares about is LeBron passing Kareem. I mean, I think that's all LeBron kind of cares about right now. Mario Chalmers in Miller School. Doug, I hate when people say Braun deserves better. Now he's won plenty and he's done this to himself. I mean, half the world sees him as the GOAT. What more do you need? Yeah. Look, he's handpicked and built his teams everywhere he's gone. That's what he's always done. The Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavaliers, the Golden State Warriors, and Milwaukee Bucks. I didn't know Merthen's been coming off the bench. They don't show Pacer games where I'm at. I just look at his numbers and assume he started. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if today maybe they brought him up, but the last since the start of the season, he's been like the 6th man coming off the bench. Did they start him today? Maybe they started him today. But he has been coming off the bench. He came off the bench today too. Oh, he didn't have a very good game today. But yeah, he's been coming off the bench. Austin, LeBron isn't the GM. He isn't, but like I said, every GM would have done that. LeBron's everywhere. Miami, Cleveland, twice. Like every GM, he's LeBron. That's why he got the nickname lead GM, because every place he goes. Because when you have a superstar like that, it's just we're in a different league. We're not in the league that we were in like the 80s where, GMs did all the work and, if Jordan came in and said that they wanted whoever, they told him too bad, sit down. That's not your job. It's not the league we live in anymore. The Pacers have to trade Miles Turner, otherwise they get nothing for him when he becomes a free agent this year. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I think they'll drop their asking price sooner or later. LeBron James is a businessman now. Yeah, the brick. What do you think it will take 80 to get on Joker and Embiid level? Consistency. Like he's shown he could arguably be a top 5 guy in the league when he's dominating. Problem is he's inconsistent. He just doesn't do it night in and night out, for 48 minutes or however many minutes, 30 plus minutes that he plays. And that's the problem. He doesn't do it. Like he'll give you, 15 in the first half, and he looks like he's the best player on the planet. You're just like, dude, this guy is incredible. And then like he just completely disappears and gives you 2 points in the second half. That's the problem. He has to get consistent. Kyrie not going to the Lakers after the snake. LeBron said, where's he going to go? It's not like he has a bunch of options lined up. What is he just not going to play? And LeBron has said all kinds of stuff about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving doesn't care about that stuff. Would you do Laurie and Beasley and Vanderbilt for Russ and 2 picks? I don't know about the 2 picks, but it's close. That's definitely close. Probably, yeah. If that was something, yeah, I'd probably do that. Because not just that, but they're young enough to where you could build for the future, to where they could be around when those picks are to be picked. Yeah, I would do it. I would do that deal. The Lakers was terrible defensively. The offensive numbers, Rain Hollow, yeah. Kendrick Nunn played 60 minutes a game. 2020 was the best year for the Lakers, and they may not be good like that again. I mean, you never know. You'd be surprised how quickly things can turn around. I'm not saying like with this roster, but all of a sudden, like I said, say this time next month, let's say Kyrie gets bought out, Lakers sign Kyrie, they flip Russ for, the Spurs deal, and they get all 3 of those guys, and then they take Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn, and they get Buddy Hield. And all of a sudden you have Kyrie, Buddy Hield, Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott, and Jakob Poeltl all added to this Laker team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and now they're a championship contender again, and they might be the best team in the league. You'd be surprised how quickly stuff turns around, especially in sports, not just basketball, but sports period. I'm not saying any of that will happen, but it's all not unrealistic stuff. And sports, we see it all the time, like one trade, 1 or 2 moves, little tweaks or whatever, all of a sudden everything completely changes. He's a backup center, and the Lakers need to bring back DeMarcus Cousins, minimum contract, be backcourt duo, Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. Problem with DeMarcus Cousins, he's so limited. Like, there's a reason he's not – like, he was great for Denver. Why didn't Denver bring him back? Because he's limited. Lakers need 3 and D wings and a center. Look at the Clippers. They have so much despite not having Kawhi. Yeah, very true. But that's the problem. It's a hot commodity, and there's only so many. You were so optimistic for Lakers season. It reminds me of Jake and I from movies. Yeah, right? I really was. I really had hope. They should have kept Donovan Mitchell. Jazz are better without Mitchell. Yeah, they had 0 ball movement Mitchell. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this team is a better Jazz team. Warriors getting women. Yeah, I ain't funny. It's not funny, but it sounds like it's Tim Duncan to the Spurs all over again. I don't know if I want Poeltl. He had 4 points. Yeah, but everyone has bad games. Everyone has games like that. Like I said, Anthony Davis had 2 points in yesterday's game in the second half. So, all that stuff. Like, it's what he can provide night in and night out. When your 2 superstars players tell you to trade for someone, you do it. Exactly. Like I said, there's not a team in the league that wouldn't have done it. As it stands, Lakers needs to do a collab with Trevor Lane, Lakers Nation, or Alan So I would absolutely love that. Absolutely. I don't know if Trevor Lane even knows who I am, but I love Laker Nation. Trevor Lane is awesome. It would be blessed to be able to do a collab with either of them. I would absolutely love that. Hey, maybe leave us, because I've had a couple people tell me like that they'd love me to go on. Tell Trevor Lane, go into his live streams and say get As It Stands Lakers on, and to talk. I'd love to talk. I'd love to have a conversation with him. But like I said, I'm a small fish in a tiny pond or in a giant ocean right now. I got to get to a point where I matter, I guess, in the Laker space. But we're getting close. I'm only 10 subscribers away from 5,600. I'm sure there's 10 of you that aren't subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video. And go tell Lakers Nation to get me on their channel. That'd be awesome. I'd love that. Oh, I already got that. Trade AD for Turner and Hield. God. Krause would have told him. Yeah, he would have. Thanks. I feel like the Lakers are just not making the playoffs anymore because look how good teams getting the young talent and coming in. I mean, it's differently. I mean, this season from both sides, the East and the West, teams are just like everyone. Like this season shows that there are a lot of really good teams and so much talent. There is so much talent now. It's insane. It really is. It's absolutely insane. But yeah. GM LeBron did get us a chip. Thankful for that. Facts. I am too. I'm so glad I didn't watch the game past halftime. Another disappointment. If we don't make some moves soon, I can't pay for Sportsnet subscription to raise my blood pressure. I feel it. I completely feel it. Hopefully we get something done soon. They did start talking to the Spurs, so that's good. Hopefully they can, get something worked out. Kyrie's not going to retire. They need to do something. I agree. If we finish last, the Pels will get our pick to be more humiliated. Yeah, that would be scary too. If they ended up with Wembanyama. Watching Jake's face when you confronted him about their to his classic, he was definitely more entertaining than watching Lakers lately. Yeah, I know, poor guy. Kyrie and Braun are cool. The hood is making it bigger than what it is. Yeah, they'll be fine. Lakers won't sign Kyrie. Of course they will. Absolutely, they are desperate. They need to do something, whatever it is. They do. I agree. Bev for THT was a dumb move. It was not at all. Like I said, it freed up $12 million in cap space. It gave us a more sizable contract to trade. It gave us a guy that was supposed to help now. And you got to remember, Patrick Beverley was great last season for the Timberwolves. And on top of that, it freed up a roster spot, which got us Matt Ryan. So we wouldn't have had Matt Ryan. Who knows what would have happened? THT, it's not like THT is killing it for the Jazz. Like, he's playing pedestrian still. Like, it wasn't a bad move at all. It freed up so many things. There was a lot to that trade besides that. We actually played well despite the score says. Jazz just made everything. Yeah, dude, I mean, they're averaging 16 made threes a game. It's insane. Can't say positive if you're 2-8. There's always positives, but it's hard. Lakers giving Wembanyama to the Pelicans at this rate it is. Weren't Celtics like 5 or 6 seed before the All-Star break, and after that went number 1 in the finals last year? Yes, very true. Very true. A lot of things can turn around. Like I said, you'd be surprised how quickly things can change. Boom. Why did the Lakers sign Toscano Anderson instead of Gary Payton Jr.? Because Gary Payton Jr. cost, $11 million a year? We didn't have that money. This is a player-ran league now. I don't like it. Yeah, it is. Go Jazz. They were great. They've been great. Jazz have been great. Still 72 games to go. It ain't over till it's over. I agree. I'm with you. As it stands, remember when you said the Lakers team was better than the 2020 team? You were very optimistic indeed. I said that they were on paper better. I said we still haven't had them play. I didn't say like they're definitely going to be like this team. No, I just said statistically speaking, this team is better. They are just as good defensively. So it's just they can't make shots. That's the problem. But they're not. But I did say chemistry is a big part of it. Execution, guys knocking down shots, all that stuff. But I said if you take the stats from the 2020 team and you take this team is on paper better. And, I mean, obviously that's not the case. 72 games to get there. Things right, but it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. Damian Jones and JT Asek, yeah. Anthony Davis said the Lakers going to play 82 games this season, try to win all their games every day. Say you going to full healthy every season. I don't. I mean, he's already missed the game, so that didn't work. Kyrie's always caught up in some kind of controversy. Sure, you want him? Yeah, at this point, yeah. I mean, it can't get worse. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's like worse than as I don't want to trade for him, but if he's a vet minimum deal, like that might be the best vet minimum deal ever. Like, with the production and his capabilities and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Kobe didn't upset with the Lakers. Are definitely upset with the Lakers. THT isn't good. If I'm being honest, yeah, that wasn't a bad deal at all. What I saw was guys getting in a rhythm and looking confident tonight. We scored enough to win. We just got to keep pace with LeBron and Atlanta. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Is that like, look, we got Kendrick Nunn finally came out of his shell, gave us 18. Hopefully that's something that continues. Austin Reeves looked better. He was more aggressive tonight. Hopefully that continues. We had several guys really step up tonight, which is good. Those are all positives that hopefully when LeBron and Walker get back, they can continue. Troy Brown's still consistent. He's averaging 10 a game for us. That's great. Max Christie, our rookie, he looked great tonight. Max Christie deserves a lot of credit tonight too. Bro, that shot by Matt Ryan is going to be a highlight of his career. He can shoot, but unless he's making them in the game, who cares? Yeah, that's the only issue I have with Matt Ryan is that, like, if he's not hot, he's basically our version of why am I blanking on his name? Duncan Robinson. He's basically our version of Duncan Robinson. When he's shooting and he's knocking down shots, he's great for us. But when he's not, he's unplayable. If the Pels actually end up with Wembanyama, I will change. I will need a change of pants. That would actually be insane. Can't wait for the lottery. Yeah, that would be absolutely insane. This next lottery return team dominate for the next decade. I agree. I mean, literally, like, you could be talking about a team that could be the next dynasty. Like, that's how good Wembanyama looks. The LA Lakers should have kept Ross Calhoun, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. I mean, we had to trade Ingram to get Anthony and Josh Hart to go get Anthony Davis, and we won a championship, so that was worth it. I'd take a championship over Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart. To be honest, the take that this team is better is it off. It's still a relatively new team. I'm seeing progress game to game. Record actually doesn't reflect the Wild it might sound. No, I get it. Like I said, I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, like the thing is that I was breaking down the individual teams before the season began. And I said, if you look at this team on paper is better front to back than the 2020 team. But, chemistry, play schemes, all kinds. There's a lot of things that go into that, and because a lot of people were like, this team's going to be terrible. This team is this. And look, so far they have been, but there are a lot of positives. Like, we still have a top defense. We just need to be able to start making down shots. It looks like guys are starting to step up and come out of it. So those things. Cut Ryan and sign Dwight Howard or Melo. I don't know. I'd rather cut Whit and Gabriel. Whit and Gabriel's been pretty solid for us, but Melo, I don't want Melo. I mean, why sign Melo over Matt Ryan? Like, Matt Ryan at least is younger. He can play more minutes, and he better defensively than Melo. Melo had his worst defensive season of his career last year. And Dwight Howard, I'd rather go get Whiteside. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Young talent didn't have a good chance to do anything yet. Yep. The LA Lakers got the baddest record in the NBA, 13 wins, 55 losses this season. They'll win more than 13 games. Once Schroeder and Bryant return, I think that should be able to get 500 by Christmas. I really think Schroeder and Bryant are going to help a lot because, I mean, Schroeder is a guy that can take a lot of pressure off of a lot of guys on this team. So I kind of want Orlando to – I kind of do too. Like, they would have such a good young – like, I would love to watch them. They're already fun to watch. I know they're not winning games, but they're a really fun young team to watch. Dwight isn't going – yeah. He's going to Taiwan in basketball, yeah. With Cole Anthony coming off the bed, yeah, solid. We losing fan base because of the front office? Nah, we're fine. Like I said, there's only so much that he can do. There were only so many options out there this season. But I got to the end of the chat. I'm going to skate on out of here. I appreciate you all so very much for hanging out with me, having these discussions, having these conversations. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Help me out. I'd really appreciate it. It means a ton. So hit that subscribe button. Help me get to 5,600. I'm only 9 subscribers away. I know there's 9 of you that aren't subscribed. I know for a fact you're not subscribed. So hit that subscribe button. Only you can hit that subscribe button. It really helps. Help me get to, like I said, 5,600 before midnight. Let's do that. So subscribe right now and like the video, all that stuff. All you beautiful people are awesome. I appreciate it.